Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Antonio, Black Tonio, back with another video today for the family. Up late, not sure what time it is right now. It has to be like close to midnight or something like that. But so yeah, this will be my second video for today before I close it out for the evening. Can't be in front of the cameras too much, you know. I even didn't even really want to shoot this video with my headphones. You know, the great leaders and oracles and orators of the past didn't have, you know, headphones and all these fancy speakers and microphones and things like that. You know, but it's not 1968. It's not even 86. And the worst part is, so I actually finished watching Judas and the Black Messiah again for the second time. I have a confession to make. So the first time I watched it, it wasn't a good quality movie, so I didn't watch the entire movie, even though I knew the entire story. But yeah, it's a good read. The reason why I like mediums like that, like music and writing, video and movies and things like that, they're a great source of entertainment. And unlike the human body, it lasts for a long time. You know, if we didn't have pictures and videos of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and, you know, Fred Hampton, all these different people throughout history, you know, they still have pictures and writings, you know, of Jesus Christ and all these different things. So yeah, I just finished watching the movie. So me personally, I've been going through the dark night of the soul, my spiritual expansion, almost a year now. And there's been so many synchronizations, even in the movie myself, even in the movie, I'm like, the things that I say or the things that I speak about or write about or express are eerily similar and familiar to a lot of these great leaders and orators of the past. Indeed, a spirit has taken over me. Sometimes I have to temper myself. But that all comes with self-control. We have to learn to discipline ourselves. And before I get that off my mind, when we see people out in the open getting treated badly, being assaulted by the police, being tortured in broad daylight, you could either do one of two things. You could either help or you could hurt. Make sure that you are helping in some kind of way. Everybody has a position to play in this life if they want to keep everything in a positive state of flow. You know, if you see something happening, you know, I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. Either you're going to record, either you're going to, you know, the worst thing you can do is make the situation worse. And this is something that I live by my entire life. When it comes to fighting and crowds and things like that, the mosh pits and all these types of things, I'll watch a fight, but I'm not going to stand in the middle of the fight, or I'm not going to trying to get a closer look and get into the fight and all this stuff. You're trying to get a better look at the fight, but you're not helping anyone. That's not helping, you know, women. When you're yelling and screaming, when the police have someone in handcuffs, a black male, a male in handcuffs, and you're screaming, you're putting everybody on edge. You're making everybody anxious. So don't do that when you see stuff like that. And for some strange reason, women get a lot of leeway. Like they'll have a brother on the ground in handcuffs, kicking him and punching him, and The chicks is like right there, like less than a foot away from the action, just yelling and screaming in everybody's ear. Do not do that. You need to stop resisting so much. You want to go to jail, or you want to go home, or do you want to go in a box? If you go to jail, you can always get out and come back home. If we're raising anxiety in that moment, anything can happen. Nobody's going home at that point. You gotta learn discipline. We gotta learn how to calm ourselves, even men, even when you're in the handcuffs. Yes, something that I don't like talking about, my personal business, my children, and things like that. During my spiritual expansion, the night of my birthday, I went to jail for one night, and I could have lost my temper because I spent my entire life being a good person, and bad things happen to good people. So yeah, initially that 5 minutes I lost my cool and I had a fit. I didn't try to fight the police or anything. I couldn't believe what was happening. I could believe what was happening actually. And I spent the next almost 24 hours in jail. So actually no, I did spend, it was a day, right? I went in Saturday and came out Sunday. But I sat in there that whole entire time, calm as a whistle, even though they had people in there losing their minds, people in there, telling their stories and things like that, trying to express themselves in the best way they can. It's a bunch of goons in there and a bunch of idiots in there. And I made sure that everyone in there had respect for me, and no one was pushing my buttons. As a matter of fact, I was like, how often do you see a 33, 34-year-old man? Well, again, I've never been to jail or prison. Well, I guess I've been to jail, sitting Indian style in the middle of the cell block, not wanting to be bothered by anyone. So I'm pretty sure I looked like a crazy person. As I always do, people look at you in weird and strange ways. They looked at Chairman Fred Hampton for not wanting to, just do certain things. I don't use guns and things like that. I'm not one of those types of people that, if that's like one of my pet peeves. I think this world would be a better place if there wasn't any guns, but these are just tools, and people just turn and twist them and use them in insidious ways. But yeah, I have 2 social media pages, 2 Facebook pages. One of them right now is deactivated because going through my spiritual expansion and my awakening, my awareness of all this stuff that's going on in our society, I post a lot. Sometimes I get triggered. Sometimes I post negative things, not to be negative, but to kind of, oh, look, it's a worm. But I don't post things or say things to be triggering. It's kind of like opening people's minds up. There's a YouTuber who has a show called, oh man, what's the show called? I think his name is Jesse Peterson or something like that. I wish I could remember the name of the show. If I remember it, I'll definitely mention it. But this guy would seem like one of the weirdest, most radical black dudes ever. I mean, he's old. I think he's like pushing 70. In a way that he kind of talks down, not really. I mean, people don't like the way you talk. People didn't like the way Jesus was talking to them. And anytime you try to correct black folks, they always get offended and all these other different things. Just like people don't like Candace Owens. But that's a conversation about Candace Owens. We'll have that another day. This is exactly why I don't like name dropping, because all these people are flawed people. I'm flawed as well. I'm walking through the friggin' park at 12 midnight on a cell phone, talking about some stuff, right? But yeah, all these people, man, history repeats itself nonetheless. You know, I don't have a fear of death or anything like that. You know, I got handcuffed. I got thrown in the backseat of a police car, and I did have the thought that I wouldn't make it out the backseat of that police car alive. But certain people carry a certain aura, a certain vitality, a certain spirit about them that even bullies bow down to them. Even people that think they have a way with words, they hold no power over a real mage. Someone like Fred Hampton, Chairman Fred Hampton, I'm building upon and standing on top of the shoulders of giants: Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. Even people that's still alive. I got a chance to catch shit. Oh man, somebody's burning in the parking lot. Shahrazad Ali. I got a chance to catch a live stream of hers for the first time. She was just kind of putting the ladies up on game. Very interesting topics. Very beautiful woman, even then and now. You know, I like women. They're of course I like women. I have 2 kids. They're very powerful in their own right. I'll get my chance to go to war with men and their so-called knowledge and way with words, but women's are the original cultivators of language and communication. So I'll deal with men when I have to deal with them, sharpening swords and what have you. I actually almost got into a fight today. And even then, I think I intimidated the poor fellow so bad that he probably pissed himself. And this is somebody that claims to have, I've been in jail, I've been in prison for 4 years, and he wants to fight someone every single day, always argues someone down every single day. And I'm usually like the calmest person. So unfortunately, he had to see the beast. I mean, we did have a full moon, right? The moon is actually waning right now. It's no longer a full moon, so whatever power the full moon had over me is going away. I leveled up. But yeah, everybody has their own strengths, their own weaknesses, their own power, their own influences. I mean, again, we're living in a society, or even in America, it's a capitalistic country. Capitalism runs hand in hand with marketing, marketing, sales. I mean, everything that my words are escaping me right now, because I was actually able to watch this movie in good faith and take my time. The movie's like 2 hours long, and I took like two and a half hours to watch the movie, because not that I was necessarily triggered. It was just interesting to pinpoint these different things, you know, that our brothers and sisters were able to express in the movie. A lot of things did not go unseen. But yeah, it's a lot. I don't even know where to start or how to unpack it. I mean, I look back on the things that I've been doing, that I've been thinking, that I've been saying, and that I've been doing over the past 9 months, and it's eerily weird. Even when I look back on my 20s, even when I look back on myself as a child, it's so much. And it's funny how everything has its own divine timing. It's funny how spirit connects people in the strangest of ways. I mean, we're living in the internet age. It's always good to be your authentic and true self. When you know yourself, you know what your power is. You know, fear and cowardice are 2 of the worst things that people can carry in their heart, because it's contagious. It's poisonous. Just like love and happiness is contagious. Laughter is contagious. I just wish that people would stop battling each other so much. Obviously, that's not possible, right? I mean, as long as we have basketball and football teams, there's obviously going to be a weird way to correlate these things, right? Guns and drugs and all these other different things, you know. Competition is always around us. Whether there's going to be competition with your friends and family, or even competition with, you know, the enemy of my enemy, or, you know, just different things, different philosophies. And, you know, the leaders of the past, you know, I totally respect them. No doubt. I totally respect them. We wouldn't have been here without them, but they were lacking in some things. And, you know, those of us today have a chance to build and expand off of those valuable principles and strengths that they gave us. It helps us to plan through their weaknesses and the things that they did. And with great power comes great responsibility, right? I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I don't even know if this is a visionary stream of consciousness. I don't even know if I'm teaching anyone anything right now. I have another movie to watch, of course, before I go to sleep. I spoke with you guys earlier about. I actually told you guys that I was gonna watch Judas and the Black Messiah again today, and then I'll be watching Maud in about an hour. I won't be going to sleep tonight. I accidentally fell asleep, and I woke up at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna be up all night until 8 or 9 o'clock. I have a lot of work to do. I had so many different things to accomplish in this life. Funny saying that, because I wasn't even supposed to live past my 18th birthday. I think that was pre-planned. You know, there's things that goes on in our community. There's all types of gene splicing and experiments. And I watch these things, and I wonder how much of a coincidence it is to have a liver transplant right before your 18th birthday. So then when it happens to you, you start to notice. Then I started to notice other black men in my community that had the same scar, on their stomachs. Even some of our women who have these same similar scars, either going down their spine, in their chest area, your heart space, where you hold space for people, how you love them. And even sometimes these here, women have the C-section. Their children are not able to enter this world in a natural way. They're not able to come through the channel or that portal of the mother because they're cut out of the stomach. And the government knows what they're doing. Circumcising. They've blinded people into circumcision. One thing that I did learn, however, you know, you take the good with the bad. I had a run-in with the police yesterday. I asked them why I don't ever see... I thought to my head, I'm like, why don't I ever see police officers with dreads? So I asked him, it was a black officer, of course. I asked him, and he said they're not allowed to grow dreads. They're not allowed to grow their hair. I mean, pigs don't really have hair, right? But there's a lot to be said about the things that... And I don't even want to debate people anymore, because what's the point of debating and going back and forth with people that think they know what they're talking about? Again, there are no 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 60-year-old experts. We should be growing and learning every day, no matter how old you are. An 80 or 90-year-old that's did everything they could in life and still has a lust for life will probably take up knitting, learning something new every day, working with your hands, staying positive, staying active. And this movie, coincidentally, it's a lot of stuff matching up here. I don't know if I'm being watched, or if I'm just being paranoid, or I'm just so psychic that I'm able to see all these different things that are around us. Even the people that were in the movie. We got the brother from Britain, Daniel Kaluuya. He is, or Kaluuya, I don't know how to say his name. My bad, bro. But he did a good job in the movie. It's phenomenal job. He knows what's going on. I've been on his Instagram page. Interestingly enough, he's not following people. Even Lakeith, I see you, man. You're gonna have to detox, bro. Don't let these people drive you crazy, man. But it's probably all an act. You're an actor too, right? I seem weird myself, don't I? And I'm older than both you guys. So, you know. We just gotta keep being leaders in our community. You know, it's not about money, again, because when people love you, the money will come with it, you know. It's about changing the mind and the consciousness of the people, so that the people can get on one accord and actually start making these people answer for the things that they're doing. We can make the world a better place for us and them. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. It's gonna take bravery. It's gonna take a lot of things. We have a lot of tools here, underhanded tools as well, but we need to do this with integrity. I twisted up my hair, y'all. You'll have to see it in the daytime. My hair's getting longer. In order to be, you know, they want you to be a politician. You gotta be some clean cut, no mustache, no beard, suit and tie wearing. But we ain't having it, right? They took all the basketball goals out of the park. Yeah, they really don't want anyone outside during this Corona season. We were supposed to be on lockdown for 2 weeks. It's a whole fucking year later. And people are still stuck in the house, which they should be, in their houses, building their foundation. We have to start building our community around us first. You know, we shouldn't be having our children out at some statue protest. They don't even know the people on the statue. They don't own anything around the statue. Why do we have our children run into outside protests and statues? We need to educate them first. When they know self-love, when they know self-care, when they're building their businesses and gaining their finances, they can take control of those areas and change things. We don't need our young children, especially our men, running out to protest like lambs to the slaughter. So I don't mean to offend anyone, but we don't need to be doing that either. That's what Martin realized during his last days. It's what a lot of great leaders Fred Hampton Jr. I'm sorry, Chairman Fred Hampton, he realized that as well. That we don't need to be running out, seemingly inciting violence. I mean, if you're going to go out and do something, do it. Do we still have statues there standing? Yes. Do we have protests and marches to get these statues removed? Yes. And after that happens, after the protest and the march that day, is the statue removed? It is not. We have to get focused on practical magic, on things that we can actually control and influence. And if we have certain problems in our crosshairs, we need to figure out the best solutions to those problems. And this is ground zero. I mean, if we can fix this country, we can fix the world. It is not up to me. It is up to you all. I don't know how much longer I have left on this planet. It's going to be a crescendo and there's going to be a climax. And that's just me channeling spirit. Never intended to be a politician or any type of political or spiritual leader, but I guess it all runs hand in hand with each other, right? You have to reach the hearts and the minds of the people in order to change things. Change the hearts and the minds of your adversary to change things. Change the hearts and the minds of Gaia, the stars, the gods. Rewrite and change everything, or we're not going to be here for a long time. This video is almost a half hour long, and I said a bunch of, I don't even know. I do know that we should pay attention to what is being said. Before we even speak, we need to think about what we're saying. And before we do anything, we need to think about what we're doing and what words we're putting behind these actions. We got some artwork, and then I'll close this video out. This is what children, we need to have our children manifesting. We need to have our children out, enjoying themselves, experimenting. This was not here earlier today at the park because I was out here earlier today, and there's chalk still here. There's a whole world inside the female womb. So if you want to protect the world inside there, we need to protect the world outside here first. And I'll just leave you with that. Love you all. I'm pretty sure you'll get 100 more rants from me. Weird speeches, and things like that. But so what? I still love you guys. One day somebody will hear what I'm saying, and or maybe I'm just playing this video back for for students or something like that. But I'm out of here. I'm gonna keep talking your ears off. Be safe.